What's going on, guys? It's your boy out here, Boom Boom Tisk. Thanks for tuning in. We are out here today. Today is going to be a fun one because we are stopping by at a local shop that is here in Fremont, California. This is Annex Suspension. They saved me a nice parking spot right here. Yeah, so we're going to stop by here. We're going to check it out. And we have Mr. Grant over here. Grant, the owner of Annex Suspension. He's showing us around today. We appreciate the hospitality and the time. What are you standing in front of over here?
In front of Kaz's BRZ race car, and then I've also got my AE86 that I've had since college.
So from the front here, you got like the JDM front, I see, with the bumper. You got the hood. What hood is this?
It's just a Sabon carbon hood.
Sabon carbon hood.
Yeah.
And poking through there, we can see something interesting. What do you have under the hood of this thing?
This is a 7AG 20 valve.
All right, so 7AGE 20 valve.
So that means it's a 1.8 liter block from a mid-90s Corolla.
Yep.
Did forged rods, and then it's got blacktop 20 valve pistons.
Okay.
And then it has a 7A head that's ported by myself. It has cams and a standalone that I tuned by myself. It's definitely a bit rough because this is a driver I've put a ton of miles on.
Oh yeah.
I actually drove this car to Canada last summer and raced my buddies.
You drove this thing to Canada?
I did.
That's epic.
Yeah.
So let me run this back for you guys, especially because I know most of you are Honda enthusiasts and might not know what we're looking at. But this is a 7AGE engine setup here. So basically it's a 4AGE head and a 1.8 liter block, Toyota equivalent of an LS VTEC swap. So it's got head swap. He's got forged pistons in there. You said the valve, the cams are...
Yeah, it's got Kelford cams, Toyota valve springs.
Yep.
I did a bunch of porting. It's like, you know, I think by Honda standards, it's not crazy. It probably does about 180 or 185 with the flywheel.
But it sounds good.
It sounds amazing.
And it's got torque.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It's quite torquey.
And it's got the OEM ITBs,
Yeah,
but with
right.
the filter instead of open trumpets, which is
Yeah.
good,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
for a driver.
Yeah.
I like it. It's what you call dirty but clean, right?
Yeah, it's just dirty.
It's just
But,
dirty.
yeah.
Between NorCal to SoCal and even Canada,
Yeah.
you might see Grant rolling around in this thing.
Right, yeah. Someone in Canada put this on my car. So it's kind of sick, because, like, you know,
BC.
proof
Yeah,
that I was
British.
up there. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like a local guy put that sticker on my car. while I was up
Yep.
there.
You had to be there to get that.
The background story is this car was totaled about 3 or 4 years ago. I got hit by a E30 on track.
What?
So this entire B pillar was pushed in about this far. So I spent most of my time just getting the exterior of the car back together, and then this year's project is going to be putting in the rebuilt engine and then working on the interior finally.
Well, shout outs to you for still saving this thing, especially nowadays.
Yeah,
These are not easy to come across.
It wasn't like, it doesn't make financial sense, but I've had this car, you know, like I said, since
college,
so it's
right?
part of the story.
Oh yeah, dude, that's totally valid. I'm sure you guys watching could relate.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, besides that, we're on, of course, Annex coilovers. Is there like a specific Annex coilover model for this?
This is the car. This is our test mule. So all our prototype stuff goes on here.
Okay.
So it's a whole mix of all kinds of stuff right now. But it's a mix between Club Spec Pro and some fast road. We got some true rear stuff we're testing on the rear. It's
Okay.
got the Kaz cam plates that we developed for this thing.
Yeah, because you got the solid axle rear and the
Yeah.
4-link rear.
Yeah, and it has our forged spindles that we designed as well.
Forged spindles for the front.
Yeah.
The front suspension is like all one piece. Usually stock, you have like the knuckle and the shock like all in one assembly. That most places will have to have you cut and weld some more stuff up. But I'm curious to see what you guys have for these.
And part of the reason we have a bunch of parts for this car is because we also run Battle Garage, which is a shop
Battle
that
Garage.
specifically makes parts for 86s and for the BRZs. So
Okay. So definitely emphasis on the 86 chassis, the ZN6 chassis.
yeah, so both of these cars have some like prototype parts that we've developed.
Okay, that's awesome. Love to see it. And then we have Kaz's car over here. You guys have seen this around at the shop if you've been there, but
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I don't know if we want to. I was like, you know what? I like this red, so we actually have the same paint code right now.
Okay, so same, but different. This is Kaz's car. Fun fact: the paint code on the 86 over here may have been borrowed. I'm not going to confirm it nor deny it, but it may have been borrowed from this car.
No, 100%. Kaz's car was in the shop, and I needed repainted. I was like,
He wanted a red car.
I like that red because I couldn't find a paint code that I like, and it's kind of hard to see it on camera or on a monitor, you know, if that's the color you want.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, Kaz's car was in the shop. I was like, you know what? I like this red, so I used that Subaru paint code, and
Perfect.
that's what they sprayed my car with.
Well, hey, it looks great.
Yeah, Kaz's car has been, it's been a development car for Annex for a long time. We have an old customer who used to own this car. This is the actual car that we developed our Club Spec Pro line on. We put shock position sensors on it. We installed data loggers. We rented out Buttonwillow Raceway, and then we did a bunch of testing on track to collect data. So anyways, the
shock position sensors.
Yeah, so it's we 3D printed a bracket, and we basically mounted these linear sensors that would basically tell us the speed that the shock's moving.
That's
so
crazy.
If we, like, you know, for example, if we hit bus stop, right?
Yeah.
We could actually see the shock speed that was happening. So if the car felt a certain way, we could go back and review the data to see, like, if the car handled the way we didn't like, we could see what shock speed that was happening at. So we go back to the dyno, and then we could change our valving and do whatever we need to do. My coworker Kaz was in the market. I was like, hey, we worked on this car. We have a lot of history with it.
Yeah.
You should buy it. And so now Kaz owns this car.
Now Kaz owns it. Yeah, and that's cool. He's also stopped by our shop and had the tires mounted up too. So, I mean, it's just cool to see that it's in the right hands and it's in the right shop.
Yeah. Want me to come inside?
Yes, sir. I see they got the sim set up over here. That's important, you know, for research purposes, of course.
Yeah, we had a leaderboard, and, like, you know, myself and the team, we'd go race each other for times and stuff. So it's kind of a fun way to blow off steam here.
Yeah, understandable. A display of suspension products from Annex here today. I see that you guys have the knuckle assembly.
Yeah, so that's a forging that we made ourselves. I'll tell you more about that one, but essentially this is our 3 product lines, and you know, some people ask, like, hey, why did we start Annex, right? Mm-hmm. So essentially what happened was I used to sell a couple other brands of suspension, but what they were marketing and what they were actually delivering was not really, like, accurate or true. So I wanted to be able to offer a product to our customers that I really believed in. So we looked into just building it ourselves, and essentially we got a shock dyno, we bought a row rig, and then we did a whole bunch of testing on the dyno. We wanted to make a product that would allow you to have good ride comfort, have low noise, low NVH, and would perform well, and also didn't cost $1 million. There was always, you know, nice options out there. Like back in the day, when I was younger, I'd look up to Olin's, but they were super expensive, especially back then. They were like more than $3,000, you know, 10 years ago, which was a lot of money. We came out with this product, Fast Road line, and people really liked that. This is the Fast Road Pro.
Fast Road Pro.
Yeah.
Because you have this, and there's another Club.
The Club Spec.
Club Spec. Okay, so Fast Road Pro. Would this be like an entry level or more of a involved setup?
Yeah, this is the street product that we developed, and people like this. But then they were asking, like, hey, do you guys win races? Because I like to buy suspension from companies that win races, because that kind of shows that they know what they're talking about, right?
Right.
And I was like, hey, you know, that's true. We don't actually have our products on time attack cars, so that's probably a good point to try to address.
Yeah.
So then we came out with the Club Spec line. And what we did is we worked with drivers with, BRZs and ZN6s like Kaz's outside.
Right.
And we basically developed this product to try and win the 86 time attack series. There's some local ones like a SoCal,
like the well. Speed SF and all that. Okay.
Yeah. So we basically developed this product for that purpose. We developed our own pistons. We did a bunch of data logging, like I was saying. We added some features, like these are hard anodized lock rings made out of a higher grade of aluminum. This is 7075. This is aerospace grade.
So not like the 6061 or whatever. Okay, so this is a higher grade aluminum, so I suppose it's more resistant to shearing, stripping inside.
The reason we do this is because we think that people that are racing will be making more frequent adjustments. 6061 is the standard, industry standard aluminum, right?
Yeah.
And then, if you're gonna go have, maybe you guys at Pops install suspension.
Yeah.
Customers probably not gonna mess with it too much after that, right?
Yeah, after it's set, it's like set it and forget it.
Right. So that's why on our race products, we actually have a higher grade of aluminum.
Okay, so this is the Club Spec Pro.
Yeah.
This is more of a race grade product over here.
Yeah, so this is gonna be equipped to have higher spring rates, different valving profiles, like for track use.
Yeah.
Still reasonably, like, comfortable on the street.
Okay.
But that's not the primary focus.
Of course, this is like you're basically maybe the only street use is just driving it to the track.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some people that they also daily
or
drive
like
it, but
like the rest of us over here that would just be about that life and driving around.
Here's the thing though, like we
Yeah.
actually valve all the shocks ourselves here.
Okay.
So let's say Ian, if you were saying like, hey, I want a race product, but I do want to be able to, take my significant other to the mall occasionally, or maybe we go drive on Highway 9. We can valve and spring this a little bit on the softer side to do better dual duty purposes,
duties.
right?
Okay.
Yeah. So that for us, this is not just a matter of slapping on a different spring. We actually will change the strokes and the valving to match the spring rate. So that's what I'm saying. Like this is really not like an out of the box, solution. We're literally building suspension that's tailored for each of our customers.
Yeah, because I saw you guys on your website have this spring rate consultation.
Yeah,
so everything is very tailored to the driver and the setup of the car and what they plan on using it for.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you think about it, a lot of the out of the box, options. There's some engineer somewhere that was like, hey, I'm going to develop this product, let's say for a WRX, right? Mm-hmm. And they're going to pick some spring rates for a certain ride feel that they think the customers are looking for, right?
Yeah.
But that's just one application, right? You don't know where that was developed, like in what country, what the roads are like.
Right.
Sometimes you guys know the Japanese coilovers can be very stiff.
Super
right?
stiff, yeah.
It's because roads in Japan are amazing, right? They're super flat, right?
On top of that, they usually don't do a whole lot of like sway bar tuning and that kind of thing. It's usually more off of spring rates.
Yeah, because they can get away with it. Their tracks are very smooth relative to ours, right?
Yeah.
Whereas we have a very different approach. We're very transparent about this. These parts here, the bottom brackets and this camera plate on this particular product, we buy these from Asia. So these are not designed by us. And we're very open about that.
So the part that is not designed by you guys is the top hat itself, but what about like all the moving mechanisms like the pillow ball mount and like that type of thing?
It really depends. There's some internal parts that we designed, some are off the shelf. The reason why we do this is because as long as these brackets allow us to bolt our dampers onto a car, then it's going to be good enough for us. As long as it gets the adjustment and it's safe. Okay. That allows us to save cost because we don't need to go spend all the capital to have a bunch of these on the shelf, tying up funds, right?
Right.
That allows us to actually focus more on customizing the dampers.
The dampeners. So a lot of focus is researching and setting up the dampers.
Yeah.
And then stuff like this where we can still get at a reasonable cost for something that's still...
as long as it gets you the camera adjustment you want, it fits well. Like we test all these things with cars in our facility, right? So as long as it hits those objectives, we're happy to buy them. Yeah. But there's some times when we want to go more than that. So for example, this is a GRC camera plate that we designed in-house, right?
This is a camera plate you guys had made in-house.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on the GRC there's a cowl and you can't get to the damper adjustment or the camber without taking the cowl off, right? So we offer this upside down camera plate that allows you to adjust the camera from below.
So when you're underneath the car you can...
Right. And then but then on top of that, we don't want these bolts falling out. So we basically created a system to keep these bolts in place. So even if they come loose while someone is driving, they're not going to fall out.
It's not going to drop out.
Yeah. You can imagine why that'd be important.
Yeah, of course.
So, just an example of like, if it works well enough, we'll have this as our default offering. Yeah. But when we feel that either like it doesn't fit or maybe it's not like the design that we'd want to see, then we will go design our own. So it's kind of a hybrid approach, but we, this does add cost though, right? So like on this application, when someone equips this, the price of the system goes up. So, we try to use the off-the-shelf parts like when we can, except for when it comes to dampers. All that stuff is always done by us.
That's you guys. That's Annex right there.
Exactly, yeah. This is a caster camber plate.
Caster camber plate. So what kind of car would this be off?
This would be for this is a first-gen Celica.
First-gen Wow.
Yeah, super
is that the Durum, what do they call that? It's like a Daruma or I can't remember. I'll plug it in here if I remember, you guys. But
it's not the one that looks like a Mustang. It's like the first gen. Aerospace grade aluminum, FK bearing. These are chromoly studs that we did FEA analysis on to make sure they were strong enough for the torques. But the one thing that's unique about and look, we QC every single product that we build here. So there's actually a log. Every single part I have on here has a log file of who assembled it, how much it was torqued to, etc.
QC right there. Boom.
Yeah.
See that? There it is. Oh.
But this is cool because we wanted a caster camber plate for that car so that people could get the wheel clearance that they wanted, but still maintain the caster that they needed. Yeah. So for example, in my own car, we have an 86 version, which is on my car. When I put side skirts on it, I couldn't get the wheel clearance anymore. So using our caster camber plate, I shifted the wheelbase forward just a hair to keep the lower caster that I like. I run like 2.5 degrees of caster because it's manual steering. And then I got all the wheel clearance I needed. So that's the benefit of this.
That's cool.
But the biggest thing is, these studs are captured. We also designed the system ourselves. so that when you hold it up to the car, you don't have that stud falling out. I don't know if you've installed caster camera plates before, but oftentimes there's some hardware that you basically need 2 people to install. It's a pain in the butt.
Wow.
So, again, big question here. Is it profitable for us to spend all this time designing this part for obscure cars? No, it really isn't. But the point I'm trying to make here is that we're really enthusiasts here, and a lot of the stuff we build, our ideal customer is ourselves.
It's basically, it's like the kind of cars that you're into. So you want to have cool quality parts that work available for it.
Yeah, but it's everything we offer is gonna be something that we would personally use ourselves because we are enthusiasts first and foremost. So
100%.
Yeah.
Welcome inside here, where the magic happens at Annex.
This is the production room. We've cleared all our staff out of the way, so we have clean access to the space, and we can talk about it here. Actually, there's a lot of people on vacation right now.
There's a lot. I was gonna say, I was like, wow.
One of the questions that you guys asked was just how does the adjuster mechanism on a damper work? I figured, hey, we're here in the workshop, I could just talk about that, but it's actually a pretty simple device. So when you adjust your clicks on your adjustable damper, all you're doing is you're turning a rod inside here, and then there's a needle inside which controls how much oil can go past the shims. So these are shims on the piston on the shock, and that goes inside the tube. And then when you open this up, a needle pulls back out here and allows oil to actually pass through the inside of the rod and pop out these holes, therefore bypassing the shims. That's all you're doing. So when you make a shock softer, you're just increasing the window that allows more oil to bypass up into a certain speed. And then once that chokes up, then the shims have to open. So you're basically just delaying the force that's required to crack the shims open. So it's as simple as that. So if I go and I do a shock fully tight, there's no more bleed and everything's having to break past the shims to open up. So that's why you'll notice if you take some shocks, you go full tight, it gets kind of harsh, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no wiggle room. It's just, it has to force these shim springs open to allow the oil to go past, and that's when you get some of the harshness. That being said, though, we're quite good about making shim profiles that allow comfort and grip without things getting harsh. This is kind of a big deal for us because we designed this in-house. This is, again, 70-75 grade aluminum, so it's aerospace grade. It's hard anodized here in San Jose. Yeah, sure.
Sweet.
And then take a look at the chamfers and stuff. Do you see how smooth those are? Like the ports, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. The
like
phone
inside, yeah, because these are done on a 5-axis CNC that allows us to make really smooth profiles, which make the shock have better like flow characteristics at high
even
speed.
lubrication.
So it's more about flow and not choking up. So if you hit a berm on track, this is gonna blow off more smoothly than something with sharp edges, because that'll cause cavitation, it'll cause hysteresis in the shock. So these are just some of the details that go into making a good piston. Once the shocks are built, they get our shock builders will put them on the shock dyno, and then we'll run it on the row rig. This is an industry standard dyno that basically is like the whole industry uses these, or a company that's
This guy over here.
Yeah, it's a row rig. Yeah, they're like the premier brand of shock dyno in the industry. They were. It's a long story, but they're out of business now. But they've been like the gold standard for a long time.
But we had people like from doing autocross, and then emailing us saying that, hey, I got top 3 or top 10 in my class like so many times, and because your coilovers make my car handle so well.
Right on.
So that makes us feel really good. Like we always encourage people to give us feedback, good or bad. But when we hear good things like that, we feel we come to work, we're like happy, we're ready to make even better products.
That's right. So that's what it is. So just to rewind back here, we're talking about, we have all this cool information, all this very technical, very specific, detailed, nerdy information for you guys, and I'm sure some of you will appreciate it. But at the end of the day, what makes it count? Why does it matter? And it's because it does make a difference. People are really enjoying the product, right? Like they're enjoying their suspension setups. They're out there driving them on real tracks.
A lot of times customers tell us like the suspension rides better, they get more grip on track.
Yeah.
They get a lot of support from us, getting it set up. So yeah, ultimately we're just out here just trying to make products for, if it was like our friend buying from us, that's how we set up every coilover build that we do. So
yeah, all
these little details that go in allow us to make a shock gives you the comfort and performance that you're kind of hoping for in your mind when you buy suspension.
Right on. All right, well, yes, that is all very cool, very good details. We also do aim to have our cars perform at best as they can at the track as well as on the street. But I am from SoCal, and there's a very important question that people in SoCal will need to know. How low can we go on these coilovers?
So-
Can we slam them?
Funny is for the Honda line, I insisted that we can get to a lower ride height than we normally would at Fast Road, so we got you guys covered too if you want to have a car that looks stylish as well.
Yes, it is. Ride height is key as well. So, and he's got you covered there. Since we're on the topic of Hondas now, right? And I'm sure some of you guys have been waiting for this part. I think Grant's got a few more pieces of information he wants to share there.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that's very different about our Golden Era Honda setups is that we will use a much softer rear spring rate than a lot of the other companies would, right?
Interesting.
So, you know, if you think about Japanese setups, they tend to run a really high rear spring rate in the back of the car, right? Let's say it's an EK Civic, right?
Yeah.
So you might have something like, I don't know, like 13K in the front or 12K in the front, and then maybe it's like 12 or 14K in the rear, something along those lines.
Usually in Japan, I've seen they'll do like a 17K in the front and like a 14 in the rear.
Okay, 17, 14,
Yeah.
okay.
Like a spoon coilovers like that, or you know, Tane or something.
But if a really high rear spring rate compared to just like the targets for the car, right? So since we approach every car with the same kind of like, you know, basically like physics-based approach, we look at the car and we're like, hey, this doesn't make sense. We should be doing something like a 12 or 14K or maybe a 16K in the front, but a much lower rear, like a 6.7 or 8K.
Oh wow, that far down.
Yeah, because what happens is if you do the math, when the car hits a bump, like let's say your EK Civic, when you hit a bump, you don't want the rear to be so stiff that when you hit it, the car gets unsettled. So you might have experienced this too before. If you have a stiff, traditionally sprung coilover kit on your Honda, when you hit bumps, the car doesn't feel settled. It feels like the rear is hopping around, right? That's kind of what I'm talking about. So what we do is we have a much lower rear spring rate setup, but we insist on customers using at least an Integra Type R rear sway bar, or preferably an ASR adjustable bar.
Yeah.
That's going to let you get the rotation that you still want with your Honda.
Yeah.
So when you hit a bump and you rise and fall, the car will settle with these. We actually had a customer that just raced at Sebring, which is a very, very bumpy track. He was commenting on how well the car was handling the bumps and how the car felt really like planted on that kind of environment.
Like it still felt stable even over the uneven
whereas like
sections.
with the traditional setup, you wouldn't feel that way. The car would be very unsettled as you're going over something like a washboard type.
All right,
surface.
well that's a cool and that is a different approach, I will say, because most people, you know, the general traditional way of thinking is to bump up that rear spring rate to try to have neutral handling, but
yeah, and also especially important on the street too. So
of course,
if you're actually driving your car on the street, it'll make the car feel much better for street use by going with our approach.
All right, well we're taking notes over here. All right, you guys. Well, we are back outside again here at Annex, and this is gonna get fun and interesting because we're gonna hop in that thing over there. Excuse me, sir. Is this seat taken?
No, hop in, man.
All right.
It's got a BRZ 6-speed in it.
BRZ 6-speed in there. That's a detail. That's the first thing I noticed when I came in here. It's crazy. So this diff is super loud. It's actually a customer's LSD. When I was driving back from Canada, I roasted my ring and pinion at the racetrack up there because there's way more turns and like the oil sloshed around and the ring and pinion got too hot. So this customer, who's now a friend, he invited me over to his garage. He helped me swap in his ring and pinion, put it into this car, and then drove the rest of the way down to California. So when I go back, I gotta go give him back his, and I'll have mine in the car. Sounds like you gotta go back to Canada then. Yeah, I gotta go drop it off. That's awesome. I think Honda engines, when they're just like stock, not super loud, I think the engines themselves sound racier than 4AGs. I think 4AGs kind of sound a little more like just like a typical engine. Yeah. But when you put ITBs on the 4A, then they sound amazing. But if you just have like a stock engine, I actually prefer a V16 or V18. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good accurate. Like the actual like raw mechanical engine noises from the Honda sound more like racing pedigree than the Toyota engine, because the Toyota engine doesn't really have as much racing pedigree, right? It was meant more for just like everyday people. I see. That's true. All right, and yes, this car is on Annex suspension, so we're getting a street impression here. Obviously, the roads are, they're pretty decent in this area, but you can still feel the car is just nice and rigid, nice and planted. Even over the dips and stuff, the car just feels like pretty well settled, but nothing overbearing. And I believe it because Grant over here did drive this car to Canada, as we mentioned earlier, and he's still in one piece. I don't see him with a back brace or anything like that. I think that's a good sign. Oh, listen to that induction noise. That was like a dip over there.
That's a pretty big bump we use specifically for testing suspension.
I see. Yeah, when I felt the bump, I got a little worried. I was like, oh, that might be like unsettled, but no, that was good.
That's all right. I mean, this is a stiff setup. So this is designed for This setup's for like the really grippy like Am King CRS2 tires.
Yes.
We're just on all seasons right now, so it's not really like the right package for it. But
Yeah, but I feel like a dip like that would be, you know, on a back road, you would catch something like that. You know, where it's a little.
Yeah, for customers that are driving in back roads, we do a spring, you know, the spring rate's a little softer than this.
Yeah.
It's not that fun in a Corolla. Nothing too crazy though.
Nothing too crazy, but that's what's fun. It makes all the right noises.
Yeah.
Still feels motivated though. It's good.
The 6-speed helps a lot.
Oh yeah. That was awesome. Nice. Grant keeps on telling me that this 4A GE build is tired.
It is very tired.
But I feel like it might be tired, but it's like when you have that second midday coffee and you do wake up a little bit. It's still there.
She sounds like she wants to go, but I know she's tired.
Yeah. Oh, the brakes are good too. Damn. That's fun. Wow.
I got the Haltech fuel level a little bit too dialed, so when it says it's really down to 2%,
It's really down?
It's really down.
It's a real gauge.
That took forever to map out though. Like figuring out, you know, how to actually scale that right to the actual fuel level.
Yeah.
A lot of trial and error.
It's a labor of love, man.
Yeah.
That's not us. Hello. Wow. Well, thanks for that.
Yeah,
that
man.
was
Hope
a
you had
very
fun.
fun. Oh, yes. That was a very fun ride along. Very epic. Good car, man. Good car, Grant. Good car. Thank you for that.
That's fun, dude.
Thank you so much
Anytime,
for that.
dude. Got a lot of miles on it. I used to drive it all over the state and stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like that was just the right amount. Like, obviously, you could just keep going, keep driving, and really get like the whole full experience. But even just ripping around here locally, car feels well sorted. Hitting some dips, you just when you think it's going to do something, it actually still holds its own. And that 7A GE 1.8 liter Frankenstein in there, as tired as he says it is, it feels pretty awake today. So I'm excited to see what else he has planned for this thing. We'll definitely have to hop in there again when he's got some updates.
That'd be fun.
But I would also love to see this thing at the track sometime too.
Yeah.
But again, we just want to say thanks, Grant, for the ride along. Thanks for the time, for taking us out here, showing us around, really getting into the nitty gritty of the tech stuff. And then just at the end of the day, we just want to have a good time. We want to enjoy these cars, the cars that we've grown up, looking up to. And now that we are the stewards of them in this generation, we're going to keep them on the road and keep them performing right. And so, yep, shouts to Grant over here for doing his part in that.
Hey, just want to say thanks again for coming out, man. It was a pleasure, having you here and showing you what we do here. And
Yes, sir.
yeah, thanks for making the time.
Right on, man. Woo!